Welcome back to Audit ABCs with Jess. Today, we're strapping on our hard hats and diving into ISA 330, Auditors' Responses to Assessed Risks. If the audit is like constructing a skyscraper, ISA 330 is the part where we decide how to reinforce each floor so the building can handle anything: wind, earthquakes, or, in our case, material misstatements. We've already identified where the structure is most vulnerable through our risk assessment, ISA 315. Now, ISA 330 tells us exactly how to respond. Responding appropriately to identified risks is critical because it ensures that the audit work directly targets the areas most likely to contain material misstatements. When we tailor our procedures to the specific risks of the client, we are able to gather more reliable and relevant audit evidence, use our resources efficiently, and maintain professional skepticism. Ultimately, well-designed responses support a strong, defendable audit opinion. The main purpose of ISA 330 is to make sure that the auditor's procedures match the level of risk. Think of it as deciding whether a floor in a skyscraper needs standard concrete, reinforced steel, or even earthquake-resistant technology. The more risky the area, the more robust and targeted our audit work needs to be. ISA 315 is where we identified and assessed the risks of material misstatement, our risk map. ISA 330 is about taking that map and planning what actions to take so those risks don't lead to an audit disaster. No point identifying weak floors in a building if we don't reinforce them, right? If you missed our previous video on identifying the risk of material misstatement, definitely check it out. It sets the foundation. ISA 330 divides responses into two levels. The first level is overall responses, such as broad changes to the audit approach based on overall risk. For example, assigning more experienced staff, adding extra review levels, increasing supervision. Second level is further audit procedures, such as specific steps for particular areas with high risk. For example, for revenue recognition risk, increasing sample sizes or testing transactions closer to year-end. If we apply this theory to our skyscraper example, the overall responses will be big-picture actions like safety protocols for the whole site to prevent major failures. Further audit procedures would focus on specific parts, like testing materials in one floor or checking the elevator installation.
When you are designing further audit procedures, we look at nature. This refers to what type of procedure: tests of controls, substantive procedures, or both. Timing. Here we consider when should we perform it: interim, year-end, unpredictable moments. Extent. This entails how much work, sample size, number of locations, depth of testing. Just like in construction, do we check the foundation only once, or do we keep testing as more floors go up?
So, if we're relying on the entity's internal controls, we must test them to confirm they work effectively. Imagine the building has a smart security system to prevent accidents. This is like the company's internal controls. Auditors test these controls to see if they really work. If the controls are strong, auditors might reduce other checks. But if the security alarm is faulty, auditors need to roll up their sleeves and check details themselves. Even if controls are strong, ISA 330 requires substantive procedures for all material items. That means checking actual evidence, not just trusting processes. Example, for a construction company, verifying supplier invoices against actual deliveries of steel beams. For high-risk areas, substantive procedures may be more detailed, larger in sample size, or performed closer to
evaluating audit evidence. At every stage, we must evaluate if the evidence obtained is sufficient and appropriate. If our testing still leaves uncertainty, we either do more work or reassess our risk. Just like if we test a floor and find cracks, we don't ignore it, we dig deeper. And remember, professional judgment is a response.
Just like a project manager uses experience to decide where to focus efforts, auditors apply professional judgment to tailor their responses. Higher risk areas get extra scrutiny, like reinforcing the skyscraper's foundation during a storm warning.
Finally, just as builders keep logs about their work for quality and safety checks, auditors document their procedures and conclusions. This documentation proves they've done their due diligence and can stand up to scrutiny by regulators or clients.
In summary, ISA 330 ensures that our audit work matches the risks we've identified. It's all about reinforcing weak spots, confirming strengths, and making sure the audit building can stand up to scrutiny. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me next time when we explore even more ways to strengthen your audit skills.